Oh my god. Hi friends, it's Amaya and welcome to my senior series. So today's video is really essential, and I feel like we should be talking about this topic more. Affording things in high school. Being able to afford things in high school is something that, or not even just in high school, in school in general, is something that is not talked about enough. We don't cover this issue because high school is glamorized to a point. A lot of people see on TVs and movies that, high schoolers have cars and, they drive to school, they go to football games, they're in all these events, they have this money, they're dressed all nice, all that stuff. When in a lot of cases, there are not many students who can live that lifestyle or who are living that lifestyle. For today's video, I'm going to be covering a lot of ways that you can help yourself and that you can help each other be able to enjoy your high school experience while also not being able to afford many essential things. As somebody who's also been in the position to where I cannot afford things in high school, a lot of this comes from my own personal experiences and a lot of my own personal ways that I've been able to make things accessible for me, and I've been able to have fun in high school while also, balancing school and all that stuff. I'm somebody now who can afford things in high school. I can afford to do anything that I want. And that is only in the last year. And I really didn't get to have that my freshman and sophomore year. But now that I can, it's something that I want to talk about and want to cover because it is very important for students to know that, you don't have to suffer in silence and you don't have to suffer from these financial obstacles alone. With that, I just want to cover these things, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows that, this is a topic that should be open, and we should be covering it more, and schools should start being more accessible to all financial parties, for low-income students, higher-income students. No matter what size the school is, no matter what area the school is in, it should be catering to each and every individual in a way. This is a video for school boards and school districts, the education system, as well as students who are suffering from, those things. So the first thing I want to talk about is academic expenses. Things like your AP tests, your dual credit classes, school supplies, like all that stuff. Right off the bat, when you get to school, you have to pay for stuff. You have to pay for notebooks, you have to pay for backpacks, pencils, markers, all that stuff. And those things can rack up a price. Also school clothes. So from what I know, a lot of schools do school fairs where they will give out backpacks and stuff like that full of school supplies to students who need it. I know my school does it every single year. Even with COVID, they did it last year. We make sure at my school district that everyone is able to have it. It doesn't matter, it's free. You just sign up and you have a spot. For those of you who can't afford it, there are a lot of programs within schools and school districts, and there's also a lot of just programs within like cities and stuff where you can sign up and you can look for things. Like they'll give you things for free and you'll be able to have those essentials. As for clothes and stuff like that, the biggest thing, if you don't want to rack up too much money and rack up too much this and that, thrift stores are very good for these kind of things. Thrift stores are becoming more trendy, but they're not changing their prices. It can be styled to a good liking, and things are cheap, and people are donating to thrift stores a lot more. So there's a lot more clothes, a lot more options for people. As for AP tests and dual credit classes being not accessible for low-income students is something that we have to tackle at the root. Something that we can't just be like, oh, well, you can really get around it, when you really can't in some way. AP tests rack up hundreds of dollars if you're taking more than one, and in dual credit classes as well. You're taking a college class, you're taking a college course, you're going to end up paying money. Dual credit classes, there is financial aid. You can apply for financial aid. If you don't have dual credit classes, then that has nothing to do with you. But for people who do have dual credit classes, you can apply for financial aid in high school. You just have to talk to your financial aid advisors, and you also have to talk to your dual credit advisors, and they will tell you how to do it, and they will tell you what you need to do, what steps you need to take, who you need to talk to. And you can apply for that, and they'll give you money, and you'll be able to pay for your classes. For AP classes, it's kind of different for each school. I know for my school personally, I only pay around $9 to $20 for my AP test as opposed to $80 to $100, only because I am on free and reduced lunch at school. And with free and reduced lunch, it's free. It's based off of income of your parents or your parent. When you have free and reduced lunch, you get reduced costs. You get reduced costs on certain things. It's one of those things you should always push to apply for and always push to be a part of. It's not embarrassing to be from low income family and not be able to afford these things. These are things that are normal. These are things that are common in our society, and which it shouldn't be, but there are ways that it can be accessible. For those who don't have things like free and reduced lunch, I believe you can talk to College Board about reducing your price. Talk to the advisors at your school, being on a payment plan throughout the year. Most AP tests take around the end of the year. You have all the school year. If you know you're taking, like, say you're taking AP English at the end of the year and you take your AP test in like May. You know that in August. You have about a year to, rack up the money. You have that time period to talk to people and ask them, okay, what can I do? What can I bring to the table, and what can you guys do to help and stuff like that. The next part that I want to talk about is communicating with teachers and staff. Those will be your best friends throughout high school, throughout middle school, elementary, whatever. The administration at your school has your back. Regardless of what you think, you might have those couple teachers who don't like you or whatever. Your administration has your back, period. There's absolutely nothing that can convince me otherwise that administration doesn't have your back. These people know what it's like. These people know what it feels like to not make money and have to sustain a family. If you talk to them, if you talk to your teachers, you talk to your staff, you talk to your principals, do your administration, all that stuff, these people will make way for you. It doesn't matter where you're from, what school you're at, there's gonna be somebody. There's gonna be somebody there who will understand. They understand that financial instability is a thing, and it is a common thing among students, and it's a common thing among families, especially in certain places. They're more lenient, they're more understanding about what you're going through. If you talk to them, they'll be able to provide you resources, they'll be able to look for things for you. Even some teachers will go as far as to buying things for you. I've had teachers throughout the years who have bought things for me, who have brought things for other students, who have bought kids lunch because they couldn't afford to have the lunch. I've seen teachers buy whole classrooms full of food and always have snacks on deck for students who don't eat throughout the day. You have to take advantage of those resources. You're not using anybody. You're not harming anybody. People will go out their way to help others. Communicating with teachers and staff is going to help you beyond words. The next thing is free lunch. Why do students have to pay to eat? Not everybody can bring food from home. Not everybody can go out and order food. Nobody can leave and go eat outside of school. Not everybody has that kind of money. You're there for 8 hours. You have to eat 2 meals there. 2 of your 3 meals there. People can't afford that. Why do students have to pay to do something that's a basic need? Free lunch should be accessible. You can't tell me, well, you need to make more. That is not no child's fault. You should not be punishing a 7-year-old because our economy sucks. This is how that sounds. You're punishing a child, punishing kids for not being able to afford food at home to bring, so you don't make it accessible for them to have food at school. I know this is about affording things in high school, but that is something that we need to fix. Kids should not be spending money at school to be able to afford to eat. Next thing I want to talk about is jobs in high school. A lot of kids have jobs in high school. Jobs in high school is something that very difficult to balance. It's really hard. Personally, at my school, we have a program where basically if you work and stuff, you can take your 4th period off so that you can go to work earlier. Tell me that is not one of the best things ever. That is something that if you have a job in high school, you should take advantage of and try to speak to staff and stuff like that, administration, about can I do this? Can I do that? Da, da, da. I can't really give the best advice there. So if anybody knows any tips or could give any advice, go ahead and tell or say whatever you need to say in the comments. I really genuinely can't give my full 2 cents because I only have a 0.25%. Transportation is another thing. Transportation in high school is so different and difficult for different people and different communities. Now, getting to school for first period and leaving school for fourth period is a completely different story. Most of the schools provide our buses, and buses only go so far. So for students who don't have cars, who can't drive, and have parents who work, buses are the main thing that you know. If you have friends that drive, use them. And if you drive, help your friends. You know your friends can't get to and from school. If they can't get to and from school with ease, don't charge them for gas money knowing that they can't afford it. If you just have a kind heart, take your friends to school. So the next thing I wanted to cover is how to enjoy your high school career without having to pay for things. Now, how do we enjoy high school while not having as much money? Joining clubs and organizations, pretty much all clubs and organizations are free. There are expenses that come with them, but to get inside of them, to get into them, it's free. It should be free. But most clubs you just have to sign up for and you're in them. Joining those clubs and organizations really, really helps because a lot of clubs and a lot of organizations at school get into stuff for free. They will go to things and they will end up in them for free. There's no charge because they're sponsoring or they're a part of that event. If you want to join color guard or if you want to be a cheerleader, those things are going to cost a little bit. If you want to join sports or whatever, those things are going to cost. However, they're not going to be made inaccessible because you can't afford them. They will make a way for you. Also, just clubs and stuff, what you're interested in. If your school has it, join it. Don't be reluctant to join something because you're embarrassed. Like, it's fun. You'll meet new people, you'll have new friends, and you'll have things to be able to look forward to. Another thing that you should do is take advantage of free events. A lot of schools have charity events, they have free events. There's a lot of stuff that schools do in order to have things, be enjoyable for all. Go to them. Like, stay after school, go to these events. Like, they're fun. They can be fun, they can be boring, they can be fun, it depends. But going to free events, being able to expand your high school career or high school experience and being able to meet new people, talk to people, that kind of stuff, it makes it so much better on you. Well, it's lame, I don't want to be a part of school spirit, but it's like, come on, dude, it's just high school, who cares? Go out and enjoy it. Even if you're going alone, you'll meet somebody, I swear. Punish, they can't use it to make something better for them. Somebody, I swear. Don't be reluctant to go to school activities because it's school. Like, come on. Who cares? It's just high school. Have fun. It'll make it more enjoyable. Just for those of you who can't afford to do things that are not accessible for lower income students, help those students, help those organizations, donate this and this and that. If you have the money, if you have the extra cash lying around, if you have this and that, do it. Help somebody. If you have a friend who can't get around that well, that they, with their situation or whatever, don't be reluctant to go help them. And for those of you who are in the situation, don't be reluctant to take the help. I know how it feels to be like, I don't really want to be a burden. You're not a burden to somebody who wants to help you. If you are in the situation to where you can help. That's all I have to say. Being able to afford things in high school is one of those things that we don't cover enough, and we don't make it more accessible for people who are from lower income families to afford things in high school. Making these things inaccessible is classes. We can't continue this. Something has to be fixed along the line. We have to be able to, as a community, as a group, as whatever, be able to make our high school experience making high school an experience for everyone and not just people who can afford it. This is the best advice I can give with my knowledge and my own personal experiences. It may not work for everyone. I can't speak for every school, I can't speak for every person, and I can't speak for every situation. However, I can give the most generic advice that I possibly can in order to help people who are suffering from these things. Or if it's not enough, but I truly am trying to make sure that people can enjoy their high school year and their high school experience to the best of their abilities. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.